All right, so just a little bit brief summary on the human resource frame of leadership and looking at it, how it applies to a school. The couple main points of this is that it looks at an organization as a family. Okay, so how relationships are important between principal and staff, staff and staff, staff and students. Anybody who's in the school is looked at as part of that family. And then with this, it focuses on skills, attitudes, teamwork, and communication between all groups of people as well. Some of the key assumptions that go along with this framework are the organization exists to serve human needs. Okay, so human needs are put first. Okay, safety, make sure you have enough food, all that stuff. We're trying to promote human needs rather than profit, anything like that. And then the second one is that people and organizations need each other to succeed. Without the organization, students wouldn't be able to learn in this framework. And then without the people, the organization wouldn't function because there would be no one for the teachers and all the other staff at the school to support. Third is that when the fit between individual and system is poor, at least one of them suffer, and usually both of them. So if a teacher doesn't see themselves as part of this family, they don't or aren't happy with how this system is run, with the curriculum and such, they won't teach as well as they could, and the students and their teaching suffers, and then because of that, students' learning will suffer. So most of the time, they both suffer. And then fourth and lastly is that a good fit between the individual and the system benefits both. So the school benefits when a teacher buys into the system, and then also that teacher benefits as well because they buy into the system and they can produce their best work. Lastly, with this human resource frame of leadership is that the goal is to align the organization to human needs. So both of those things are considered. The decision making is open to between everybody at the school. It promotes commitment and communication between everybody at that school. The communication aspect is to exchange information and to communicate needs and feelings. So you have to be open to, like with a family, tell people when you think things aren't going well, when you need something to help you teach the students, and then to let people know when you aren't feeling that great about a certain curriculum, aspect of decision making, all that stuff. Finally, the strategic planning is to promote participation. So the plan, the long-term vision of the school should be a part. Everybody should have a part of that. Everybody should be participating to see where this planning, where curriculum, where the school direction is going. How I would set up my hierarchy of this system would be like the principal is at the top. Okay, they are that, if you were looking at the family, that parent figure, okay, that head figure. They take advice, listen to everybody, but at the end of the day, they're there to be a servant to the needs of everybody and a catalyst to help students and teachers be their best and be part of that family. Just below the principal would be the office staff, the students, and the teachers, all on the same level. I put it this way because these are, again, if we're going with this family metaphor, these are the direct family, the direct people that are affected the most by how this is set up and how the family is run. So students are important because that's who we're here to teach. That's who human needs we're here to meet. Without them, we couldn't run this organization. And teachers and office staff are also up there because they need to have a lot of say, a lot of buy-in to the system to be able to produce their best. So office staff definitely needs that support from everybody. Students need that support, and also the teachers. So by getting the input and having them right below the principal, Make sure the direct people who are in charge of the teaching and the learning for the kids are there. Below them is going to be the paras, the cooks, the custodians, and maintenance personnel. Okay, these people are also really important. They aren't as directly involved with learning and teaching, but they support it a ton. Without the cooks, kids wouldn't be able to have good lunches, be harder for them to learn. Custodians, obviously, having a clean building is essential. Maintenance personnel, making sure everything runs the way it should, projectors are working, all that. And then paras are there to help support that learning. So while they're not directly impacting what the classroom is doing, they're still essential to running the operation and as part of that family. And then at the bottom, I put the parents, alumni, and community. These people generally aren't in the building ever. They're kind of like distant cousins, I'd say. We still need to make sure we reach them and let them know what we're doing, because they do play a supporting role in, one, helping students buy in, making sure they get to school. Alumni can help donate money, communities same way. But I put them at the bottom because they don't have a ton of direct connection with the teaching process and the influence they have on the students. They're still there to support, but again, not directly. With this, I think it's important to know that while there are 3 separate levels on mine, that communication between all the levels, like with the human resources frame of leadership, is really important. Without any of the buy-in from these people, and if someone isn't buying into being part of this family, the whole system does suffer.